I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes. Not behind you, you will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when you steal, you try somebody's secret. When you like, you try a secret. When you like, it's in public. What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that, I ask you? When you like, you try in secret. When you like, you try in private. They are killing my people. 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 After killing my people, you tell me what to tell in secret? The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret prayer. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
the meaning of discovery? It means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun.
Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you one more time again today, Friday, almost I think the weekend. Well, of course, it's the weekend. Thank you for joining wherever you are watching from. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this live broadcast today. It promises to be an exciting one today because we're going to be talking critically on several things that concerns right now and going on still, and especially for those who are still Nigerians who don't have the capacity to reason and to understand and read along the lines, but still talking about elections, still talking about keeping the narrative, and still talking about the 2,000 or 5,000 that will be given after, during the election and all of that. I want to welcome you to the program live and direct on Biafra Global Network. This is the Alliance in Focus, where Oduduwa Nation and Biafra Nation meet to discuss critical things that concerns the two nations. And of course, we're going to be having our guest Prince Ezem is already in the studio, and of course, I'm waiting for my other guests and all of that. So you're welcome. I'm good to have you. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and it's very, very crucial. It's very good that we have you here. Please, as much as you're joining, just like this video and begin to share it on all your social media platforms so that you can begin to reach out to other people to hear the gospel of truth and to begin to connect. Thank you, those of you sending messages. I thank you, Alozie Friday, and love, and it will be Biafra. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you watching from wherever you're watching, all over the nations of the world. It's my pleasure to have you and to host you today. Thank you. Without wasting time, we're going to be going straight because we have so many things to talk about today and critical things. All of you know what is going on in the zoo today, and of course we know that we'll talk about it. And as we get our guests, to come to the program, then they will begin to expose so many things to us. You have to understand that these things that have been talked about here several times, are things that have been, these things happening right now, are things that our guests, especially Prince Ezem, have narrated sometimes, that is about to come and things that are going to happen and the narrative that Nigeria is going to bring. And of course, we have been telling you to prepare for the things that Nigeria is going to bring because we know Nigeria. We can predict them. We know what they can do the next and all of that. So we know what they're doing. Without wasting much time, I'm going to and bring Prince Ezem live on the program. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining, and we thank God for giving us another opportunity. Please, we want you to say hello to Biafrans.
All glory to God Almighty for the insight. All glory to God Almighty for the foresight. All glory to God Almighty for keeping us in readiness for these moments. So we are not taking unawares. We give God all the glory for yet another day that He has assigned to us to do the needful. Umo Biafra and my Oduduwa brothers and sisters, I welcome you to this hallowed platform. Kelechi, I thank you for all that you do. We are here. And we are here for this work that must be done. So thank you all very much. And let's just get going. You're welcome.
So much. We just have to begin. We don't have time to waste. I want to begin first to make the people understand the exploitation and the wickedness going on against the African people. And basically, I'm going to play two videos that is going to take us on here so that the people can, see the two sides of the coin here, because the two sides here represent one coin and which has two sides. Now, I want the people to see from these videos what the narrative is, while the Fulani'S put the division and they are sharing the loot amongst themselves. The other part of the coin shows you where, and one side representing the Oduduwa people who have called themselves Nigerians, and the other side, and of course the Biafra people who also call themselves Nigerians. So if you divide, you know, the structure, the territory they have called Nigeria, when you divide it into three, of course, which was initially what Britain did, you have the Hausa Fulani, which they call themselves Hausa Fulani, you know, coming in under one umbrella, and then you have the Oduduwa nation, and then you have the Biafra nation. So it was formally three aspects of the contraption. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you one aspect, what is happening and how they are enjoying the loot, and the other aspect where the two other regions are busy fighting themselves rather than fighting the people who are enjoying the loot. And you see them with their AK-47 there, displaying their loot, displaying their privilege, so-called privilege, displaying everything. And then we have this other side where they are busy fighting each other, thinking that the problem is between the two of them. That is how naive and how stupid our people have become, especially those who call themselves One Nigeria. I'm going to play the first video on the loot sharing. Of course, you should understand from these videos some things I want you to understand. One, the guns and the weapons represent the force they have used in putting us together that Britain gave to them, you know, by the Fulani Caliphate, gave to them to hold us together. And then the control, the economic control, the gun representing political control, and the money representing economic control, and the voice representing social control and order, religious control, and the ability to speak and put fear in you using using religion and using the concept of social revolution. These are the three things. So whatever they are saying there, I want you to understand this video is coming very professional and revelational here. This first video I'm going to play for to you represents this dimension. One, power. That's political control by the guns you see them holding. They're holding sophisticated AK weapon and AK-47 and all those other weapons, you know, they're holding, and the magazines and all of that, and representing the whole concept of control over the other people of the Oduduwa nation and Biafra nation. And then the money they are holding representing the economic control they have over you, which everyone now in the zoo, Nigeria, is struggling, and yet they have enough. So the first one is the gun. The gun represents the control they have over you politically. The money represents the economic control, which they are enjoying the loot and you are struggling. Then their voice there, speaking what you don't understand, the language you don't understand, proving a control over you and you not having the ability to understand, and as if they have cast a spell on you and you cannot understand. That is social control and religious control. So the voice, what they are saying there, represents social control and religious control. And of course, that is what this first video represents. Then the second video represents the two nations, Oduduwa nation and Biafra nation, those who call themselves Nigerians and who have refused to have sense, and it shows their gullible nature and their stupidity where they are fighting, whereas the other one is in control. Let me show you the first video of the Fulani'S, or the British controlling the people using the Fulani'S.
za mu tura sakon yan Najeriya shugabannin su talakawa su tsaya su yi adalci domin Allah da Allah. Idan ba haka nan ba su abin da suke nufi Allah ba zai tafi. Duk wanda suke gani da wanda a cikin daji da wanda a cikin karkara dukan su dun nasu da abun ba su kana karshe da yan uwansu. Kabilanci ba. Duk wannan kabilanci sun kasa to ba zai magana abin da a cikin Najeriya ba, sai dai an tsaya ai domin Allah da Annabi shine zai tsaya magana abin da a cikin Najeriya. Kaga an dawo ne talaka ne, wasu basu ji basu gani ba, an ce za a canza kuɗi a yi. To shi wani talaka ma bai sa abin da a canjin kuɗi, wani ma a waye gari bai da 10,000 sai ya sa ya ta waye ya je ya nema sannan ya samu ya harkar gaba ne. To shi wanda adda miliyoyin kuɗi cikin gari an ce za a canza, ai kaga hayar waje kaga ta koma wannan kan tsakanin su ne. To yanzu wani nan ma in ka bincika ka ji cikin ɗan Najeriya, wani ma da a cikin dajin kuɗin ma da suke nufi suna canzawa ne. To wani ma da a ciki ko wani ma kuɗin ma bai same su ba, amma kaga kuɗin da ake nufi yan ta'adda ne, kaga kuɗin sun zo hannunsu. Kaga wannan suna nuhin 1,000 ce, wannan suna nuhin 200 ce, jikka guda ma'ana da wasu sun maida ta. To sannu da suke gani wannan an gwada masa kaɗan ne daga ciki.
That is what Nigeria represents. Now let me play to you what the stupid people who call themselves Nigerians represent in this regard. I believe that I've been able to, at least to an extent, open your mind to what the picture I'm trying to paint here. My guest is already here. Prince Ezem is here. We've not got others yet in the room. And let's go on with Prince Ezem Iheanacho. Prince, I don't know if you're available. Are you available? We are set to have you to talk to us because critically, now before Prince comes up, because I believe he's somehow busy, you know, I want to make you guys understand something. Now, today, as at yesterday, Shell recorded $40 billion profit in UK. $40 billion profit for 2022. $40 billion profit. We're not talking about gross profit now, we're talking about the net profit. $40 billion recorded as profit. Shell recorded it in the UK. Now, from this money, of course, ExxonMobil recorded $56 billion, you know, and all of that, you know. Now, these resources are coming from our land, basically. Prince, you're welcome. We thank you. We appreciate you. Now, I've given the two sides. Now, I want you to first make your opening statement here regarding the video and everything that we are to discuss today. Just make us, you know, and you to the people to understand where we're coming from.
I'm so sorry. I had to dash up to sort out a few things, so I didn't quite look at the video. But I think what is important.
Maybe I should play it again because I was trying to bring out a narrative from that video. Because I told them I'm going to play the first video. The first video represents, you know, the Nigeria as it is. That name Nigeria, and the Fulani'S there putting on the arm, you know, having the weapons, you know, and the weapons representing the political control, and then they holding the monies representing, you know, the loot and the economic control. And they are speaking. We are not even understanding what they are saying, which represents the social and religious control over the people of Nigeria. And I played another video showing the Nigerians who are fighting each other. That is the Oduduwa people and the Biafra people fighting each other and ignoring the person who is controlling them over there. I'm going to play the videos again. The first, the Nigeria control.
za mu tura sakon 'yan Najeriya shugabannin su talakawa su tsaya su yi adalci domin Allah da Annabi. Idan ba haka nan ba duk abin da suke nufi Allah ba zai tsaya. Duk wanda suke gani da wanda a cikin daji da wanda a cikin karkara dukan su dun nasu sai da bambanci sun tsara karshe da yan uwansu. Duk wannan kabilancin sun kasa to ba zai magana abin da a cikin Najeriya ba sai dai an tsaya ai domin Allah da Annabi shine zai tsaya magana abin da a cikin Najeriya. Kaga an dawo ne talaka ne wasu basu ji basu gani ba an ce za a canza kuɗi a yi to shi wani talaka ma bai sa abin da a canjin kuɗi wani ma a waye gari bai da 10,000 sai ya sa ya ta waye ya je ya nema sannan ya samu ya harkar gaba ne. To shi wanda adda miliyoyin kuɗi cikin gari an ce za a canza ai kaga hayar waje kaga ta koma wannan kan tsakanin su ne. To yanzu wani nan ma in ka bincika ka ji cikin ɗan Najeriya wani ma da a cikin daji kuɗin ma da suke nufi suna canzawa ne to wani ma da a ciki ko wani ma kuɗin ma bai same su amma kaga sunan da ake nufi yan ta'adda ne kaga kuɗin sun zo hannunsu kaga wannan suna nuhin 1,000 ce wannan suna nuhin 200 ce jikka guda ma'ana da wasu sun maida ta to sannu da suke gani wannan an gwada masa kaɗan ne daga ciki.
The only language, the only thing we understand the word is that the only thing we hear there about there is Nigeria. That is the subject of control, representing political control, economic control, social control by revolution, and you know, religious control. So the voice there represents the dominance and the control using mysterious things like religion and all of that to control us. Now I'm going to play the next video representing the other regions, the Biafra region and the Oduduwa region, fighting as these ones maintain control. Citizen AY, you're welcome, especially to the program. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you for joining. We actually have just made some, you know, beginning introduction and all of that, and we know that saw them also. But before Prince weighs in and comes in with a general, overview of this matter today, because we're going to be looking into deep matters today, we want to welcome you, Citizen AY, and we want to say, please say hello to the people of Biafra and the people of Oduduwa. Thank you so much. Yeah, it seems you are muted. We can't hear you. It seems you are muted.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Please, go on. Yes, okay. We can.
Okay. Good afternoon to you all. I hope you can see me. Can you see my visuals?
Yes, we can. We can.
Do I move?
Yes,
can you see me properly?
Somehow, we can see like the half moon. Like the half moon, that's what we're saying. So, all right, cool. Now, cool. Yes, we can see you now. We can see you.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the NAY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I want to greet my brother, Prince Azem, for the great work he's doing, and my brother, my brother, the host.
The name Kelechi is always it's an it's a Biafra name.
Welcome, my brother.
But I greet you all, and I thank you for the message that you are sending out for people to really wake up. You see that video? That video should tell us that there is no Nigeria. The video you showed where that terrorist was showing Nigerian money, where the people that own that country don't have the money. It is crazy. It is unjust. So that is one of the reasons why we need to go for self-determination. I'm going to be adjusting the pictures. I'm sorry if it's a bit off. I just want to add that we have a lot of work to do collectively to achieve this, and we will get there without this injustice. Because how is it that terrorists has over 100 million naira of the new notes, and the people who are the towns and the villages and the cities don't even look? And the Kobe Briggs, she was saying that she couldn't withdraw her own money from the bank. Sorry about this. Can you adjustment right? And Kio Briggs was saying she couldn't withdraw her own money from the bank. Can you see me get this right? Sorry. Can you see me all right?
Okay. Yeah, we're fine. At least we can see half of you, and we can hear you very well. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna try and keep moving it till I get it right, because I'm trying to make sure you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine now.
Okay. So what I want us all to do above all now is to make sure that we continue to speak truth to power and never be silent. We have to waken our people and to really understand something. That constitution is a fraud. Without getting a referendum, we are going nowhere. Without getting a referendum, we are going nowhere. And we have to do everything in our power to make sure our people understand that we have to do them. So please, great work, my brother, for Adazin, sorry about that. And others. Great work to you are waking our people. So I'll stop there for now. Everybody, thanks for joining us, and apologies for running late. Something else came up and I had to attend to that. But I'm here now.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining. We appreciate you in spite of your schedule. And Prince, make your overview on this before we need to go to specifics as you were supposed to.
Thank you, Kelechi, and thank you, my dear brother, Ayo, Citizen AY himself. Thank you all. I want to speak directly to my Biafran brothers and sisters and my brothers and sisters in Yoruba land. I want all of you that say you are religious, all of you that say you are educated, to now know that if you're still looking for the devil somewhere else and you can't see it in what the British and Fulani are doing, then you might as well go and throw yourself in any sea that is willing to consume you, because you're a waste of space. If you are still searching for the devil anywhere else, I am telling you, you are of no value to this physical existence. And you're no value to God that created you and gave you brain, gave you autonomy, gave you free will, gave you all that you think make you human. Please hear me and hear me good. If you are still looking around for the devil, and you can't see it in what the British and Fulani are doing to you, and it is British government I'm talking about, not the ordinary British people that are literally good people and don't even understand what their government is doing. I'm talking about British government and Fulani. If you're looking for the devil and you can't see it in these two, then you might as well forget it. Now let me tell you, the video you've just seen, you are looking at machines. These are not human beings, they are machines. They are machines programmed to destroy you. They are the same as what you see as Nigerian military. They are the same machines. They are psychologically designed. I've told you these are occupying forces. They are the foot of Britain. They are the foot of Fulani, foot of British government, sent to consume and destroy you. I want you to know that they have never hidden their agenda. You know that Kelechi, I can't remember, and I'm sure somebody will testify that I warned and said, look, this suggestion of changing of currency is geared towards dealing with anybody that is planning Biafra and anybody that is planning Oduduwa Republic. I knew it. I knew it. I said, look, I immediately put up my antenna, and the antenna had seen it clearly, and they have not hidden anything. Now you can see. The strategy you're seeing here is exactly what happened after the war, where they had to give you $20 each. The same strategy. These are the devils of the world, the same devil that tempted Christ, made sure that Christ was hungry, and now has come to make sure that the test is with the food. They have you, if you watch everything they are doing, is geared towards making sure that they make you as poor and as hungry as possible. That's why they're putting your markets on fire. They're looking to destroy your farmland. They're looking to make sure you don't have any food. They're looking now, they now want to take over your money and lock it down. Now you see the people now who are given your money so that they will be in control of your money. They'll be in control of food to make sure that you die. They are looking to extinguish you from this planet. So they are using their military and all these terrorists as machines designed to consume you. It is too obvious now that even the blind can see it. Even the deaf can hear it. So if you can't see it and you can't hear it, I say to you, vanish from this earth, because you are of no use even to yourself. Even to yourself. Before we start looking at solution and what we must do, because you see, God does not wake your spirit up to the dangers without giving you the solution to the danger. I want everybody listening today to see the handwork of the devil in a world. God created you and I to be autonomous, to be able to go and plant our own food and decide the food that we want to eat every day. It is for us. God gave us that power and that right. Only us that God chose to give this power. So why would you allow your fellow human being to take this power God gifted you from source away from you? Why would you sit back and watch another mortal being that came into this world, the same process you came in? Perhaps I need to remind you how you came into this world, so you know that this is the same way Katrina Lang came into the world, the same way Queen of England came in, the same way Fulani came in. Let me remind you that we came in because two strangers, because at the point your mother and your father were indulging in that sexual activity, they were strangers to you, and you were strangers to them. I need you to know that. They never knew anything about you. Okay? It was because two strangers indulged in sexual activity. That is how the Queen came into the world. That is how Katrina came into the world. That is how we came to know that the world existed. And you know, when we came in, everybody, including the Queen of England, was naked, was empty-handed. Nobody came in with anything. That means God had already supplied all our needs. The same way we came in is how animals, insects, birds, fishes, that's the same way they all came in. But it is only us that God gave the power to go and cultivate our own food. The other creatures will depend on what we and nature give to them. Only us that God gifted the power to be autonomy, to cultivate our own food from our location where we live. The food we are supposed to be cultivating is different from the one Katrina Lang should be cultivating in England. God made it that way. So nobody will say, I have stolen your food where you stay. God gave us the seed and the soil to do our own thing. Now, how can somebody come to your mother's kitchen and annex all the food there and decide who should eat and who should starve? Have you gone to their own mother's kitchen to take over control of what their parents are giving them? Begin to open your minds to these realities. Now, somebody has made sure that all your money, they want to control it, and they tell you how much you can take and how much you cannot take. They even take your money and give to strangers and give them gun to kill you, to use your own money to now start bribing you to even kill your own brothers and sisters. And you're still thinking you have a country? I think you're mad if you think you have a country, or if you think Obi is coming to sort out your country. You're mad. You can't say you are normal. You can't be normal. Fulani's agenda will never change, and that agenda is to consume you, to wipe you out of the surface of this earth and take your possessions. But what they don't know is that the possessions they are taking, they can't keep themselves, because they are going to all die and they will take nothing from this world. That's why we have a duty to save ourselves and save them, because these are mad people. Katrina Lang can take everything, but she won't take it anywhere. She will die just like the Queen. And she will take nothing from this world. But then she will have ruined herself and ruined everybody. But we won't let her, because we have to save her from her own madness. We are here to create something good for tomorrow, with or without us, so that the children that are coming after us, we would not have damaged the world for them. We can't do that. We have a responsibility. It's a duty. It's a duty. And if you can't see that duty, then you are crazy. You are not supposed to be part of this equation. You should just disappear, because you're of no use to yourself. These people's intentions are so obvious, you can no longer say you are missing it. So please, stop going to church or going to mosque to go and look for the devil. You are seeing the devil. You are seeing them clearly. These are people who have become so psychotic that they now want to These are tenants like you in this world, but they have decided that they are now the landlords. They are now the ones dictating how much you should pay for rent and how you're going to. The same tenants living in the same property called the world with you. All of us are renting and we must all vacate. But some people have decided that they have become the landlord. Can't you understand? Can't you see it? If you can't see it, I'm sorry. You are a waste of space. Now, it has become clear. They want to make sure that even if you're coming with 200 million pounds, you can't use it in Nigeria. Once you change it to Naira, they grab it. And if you are going to change it in black market, they will tell you they don't have enough money to give you. So you must go to the bank and deposit it. Once it's in the bank, it is no longer your money. They have to decide how much they give you per day. Can you see the evil? Can you see the madness? Can you see that I knew that this particular change in currency coming now is geared towards Biafra and geared towards Yoruba nations? I knew it. And I was just waiting for them to make their first move. As soon as they made that move, I said, yeah, here it is, because I knew. Kelechi, I called you to say, didn't you? Can you see? You see, because whenever there is no policy. This Fulani'S government of the evil zoological contraption you are calling Nigeria, any policy they make, trust me, believe you me, anytime you hear of any policy, yeah, it's geared towards enslaving you further. They can never make any policy that is in your interest. That is impossible.
That's
so
right.
you should know the antecedents of the devil holding you ransom. You should be at least be like a hen. Because whenever a hen sees the shadow of the hawk, a hen recognizes that danger has come. So you should know who the danger is. Whenever you see any movement from that danger, you know the danger has come. Are you not with some brains? There must be something in your head. So do I need to tell you this? So please, thank you for these analogies you used. Those videos you showed and your analogy were all perfect. It showed, first of all, the military, because anybody carrying that gun is representing the military. And I've already told you that the military you are seeing in that contraption, any military you see gearing towards Nigeria is an occupying force. Know it. Occupying force sent by British government, occupying force sent by Fulani. You should know that by now. You saw your money in their hands. That means they have taken control of your economy. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you are a billionaire. Once that money goes into the bank, it becomes, they are in total control of it. And it is up to them how to dispense it to you. They can even refuse to give you. So, and you have seen them putting your markets on fire, trying to destroy all your food crops. They came with their cows in your farms, destroying all the food crops. They are setting ablaze your markets, trying to make sure you no longer can buy or sell. All they are targeting, look, can't you see the handwork of the devil? And you're still going to church looking for the devil. Can't you see the devil in from your own perspective? We have a lot to talk about, and the job today is to unfold the devil, unmask the devil, so you can see why you must go forth and stand firm and take your freedom back, because God made you autonomous. God gifted you free will. God gifted you choice. God gifted you independent thinking capacity. And you cannot allow your fellow mortal beings to take these things from you, your fellow tenants to this world. You can't allow them to become the landlords. They never created this world, and they never brought a pin to this world. So you can't. You rather make sure. Instead, let us all go to the grave and vacate. We can't let it happen. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Prince. It's a powerful one you just gave there. And of course, when you gave the analogy of the hawk, and also the hen, or so, you know, that's you know what I always sometimes I feel like being very angry with these people who call themselves Nigerians, but I just discovered that that's why we're here, so that we can help them to see the light, even if not everyone will see the light. Citizen AY, you know, it's critical here because you see how Britain have the audacity. I don't know how they got this audacity to think that they can control a whole people, you know, who are also having their rights to the world as any other nation of the world. And you can see how they gave the wicked thing here is they use the control mechanism, and the insult is that they even have to use Fulani'S to control the so-called indigenous people who are gifted. Let me put it that way. I just want to be playing with this thing, you know. Gifted people and cattle rearers are now given the power to control them. And yet, we see people who call themselves intellectuals and who call themselves so many things in that contraption called Nigeria, giving themselves into this, like the video I played, you know, giving themselves to this narrative of evil control. And it becomes now, I want us to look at, because we're going to be looking at it in different ways, because this war is critical. We're looking at the political war, which I analyzed in that video, the economic war, the social war, religious war. Now, these two, especially the economic and the social, and the religious, is what I want to look at today. Now, let's look at the economic side that Prince has brought, through the currency thing. Now, what have you to say concerning this currency war, that or this economic war, using currency as proxy? What is your own take on this matter? Because of course, as Prince have said, they are targeting us because we're asking for our freedom. Please, what do you have to say about this? It seems you're muted. It seems you're muted. Yeah, it seems you're muted. Citizen AY, can you hear me? It seems you're muted. Yes, please check it out. Yes, yeah, we can hear you now. Can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear. We can.
Someone like Ankyo Briggs, yesterday she said she couldn't take money from her. And you know Ankyo Briggs from the south.
Very well, yes. The so-called Niger Delta.
Couldn't take money, but the bank told her that she did money. If they help her change the money, they would charge her £1,000 for every 10,000 naira they took for her, from her own money. This is the bank that couldn't take her money out. So we can give you the money from the bank, but if we do a money exchange for 1,000 naira from your own money, from your own bank, what are we talking about? Now what they are trying to do is to cripple many others, southwest, southeast, middle belt, to cripple our finance, our family, friends, and to be able to bypass and indeed a terrible that is designed to enslave us, financially cripple us. And that is clear evidence about one Nigeria. If you're in South Africa, you really need to have a think. And you're still talking about one Nigeria. On the people in Edo, because petrol price per liter. Where are they going to find the money? Trying to get their money out of the bank. The banks are saving money. So these are clear evidence. Confirms what Prince here said that they consume the whole thing. They're burning Ballon. Why is it in the middle of all of this specific things And as we speak, a Fulani terrorist is walking around people that are struggling on a daily basis to feed their family, and it's telling us, listen to the words down. And we need to wake up. Let me do this. Let me just bring, and I am, to be honest, I am absolutely dumb in open arms about this. He said he could be seen alongside some armed men. 1,000 naira and 200.
Citizen AY, I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me loud and clear. Please, can you hear me? I don't know if you can adjust the volume so that people can get you clear, because you're making some vital points, but it seems that it's not coming out very, very clear, so that we can get the facts right, so that we don't miss out.
It's cracking.
Yes, it's cracking. Yes. Yeah, no, we can. It's cracking very, very. Yes, please go out and come in. Now, before he comes in, for those of you who are just joining, I want to bring you to terms with what we are talking about today. We're looking at things critical. Dr. Ngozi, thank you for joining live and direct. So let me recap the initial, and what we were saying initially, so that everybody can understand, because we have more people viewing now, and everybody can understand what we're talking about. Now, there are two particular videos. Every one of you know what is happening in the zoo today. And if that is not getting you angry about how you are being remote controlled by the forces of darkness and evil, then something is critically wrong with you, as Prince have said. Now, these two videos, I'm going to play them again. One shows a clear sign of Nigeria. And those Fulani'S and those terrorists that you see represent the concept called Nigeria. Now, the AK-47 they are holding there represents their political control of you. And that is the concept of controlling you and keeping you in subjugation. Now, the monies you see them holding, which you don't have access to now, even if you have your money in the bank, the money belongs to you, but they don't have it. They are coming from everywhere, from Sahel and everywhere, and they could hold the money, and proving to you that they are in control of your money simply means they have economic control over you, and you don't have a say, and you cannot do anything about it unless you take action. And then the third is that they were speaking languages we don't even understand, and all we were hearing is Nigeria, meaning that the reason why they are doing this is because Nigeria is lording over you and controlling you. So the concept of Nigeria is what we heard. They keep saying Nigeria and saying so many other things that you cannot understand, because in Nigeria you can't understand what is happening. When you call yourself a Nigerian, every other thing cannot be understood. The only thing you hear is Nigeria, and once you hear Nigeria, your brain stops. It doesn't work anymore. Now, I will show you the second video now that proves, and that's word, the things they were saying that you don't understand represents religious control and social revolutionary control over you. These are the two facts that the voice represents, and I'll tell you how I'll deduce all of this, and you're going to hear from my guest also what these things means. Now, the second video represents there's two other regions, the Oduduwa nation, the Biafra nation, fighting themselves and watching the other people control them and suppress them. They are so scared and so angry about the control that they fight each other. And of course, you see that they were using weapons around themselves to hit themselves. And whereas those ones had superior weapons, but they didn't have the weapon. Now, I'll play those videos again for you to understand. First, let me play the Nigeria concept, and you understand it in this video. Watch.
Za mu tura sakon 'yan Najeriya shugabannin su talakawa su tsaya su yi adalci domin Allah da Annabi. Idan ba haka nan ba ku duk abin da suke nufi Allah ba zai taɓa. Duk wanda suke gani da wanda a cikin daji da wanda a cikin karkara dukansu dun nasu da bambanci mutanen gaske da yan uwansu. Duk wannan kabilanci sun kasa to ba zai magana abin da a cikin Najeriya ba, sai dai an tsaya a yi domin Allah da Annabi. Shine zai tsaya maganin abin da a cikin Najeriya. Kaga an dawo ne talaka ne wasu basu ji basu gani ba, an ce za a canza kuɗi a yi. To shi wani talaka ma bai sa abin da a canjin kuɗi, wani ma a waye gari bai da 10,000 sai ya sa ya ta waye ya je ya nema sannan ya samu ya harkar gaba ne. To shi wanda adda miliyoyin kuɗi cikin gari an ce za a canza, ai kaga hayar waje kaga ta koma wannan kan tsakanin su ne. To yanzu wani nan ma in ka bincika ka ji cikin ɗan Najeriya, wani ma da a cikin dajin kuɗin ma da suke nufi suna canzawa ne. To wani ma da a ciki ko wani ma kuɗin ma bai same su ba, amma kaga kuɗin da ake nufi yan ta'adda ne, kaga kuɗin sun zo hannunsu. Kaga wannan suna nuhin 1,000 ce, wannan suna nuhin 200 ce, jikka guda ma'ana da wasu sun maida ta. To sannu da suke gani wannan an gwada masa kaɗan ne daga ciki. Dangance da ɓangaren irin waɗannan ma yanzu to buhuhuwa waɗanda an gare mu Allah ɗaya san iyakarsu waɗannan ma da an gare su to sun dawo hannunmu ne wannan daga ciki ne yanzu. Kaga har mun sai makamai da su ne.
Now, this is a clear evidence of what Fulani represents and all of that. Now, let me play a video of our stupidity, of our unseriousness, of our gullibility, and of our mental state. We have a mental problem. Watch this video and let it tell you what the people are doing, whereas the Fulani's are there busy with what they're doing. Watch it. Somebody sees this and laughs over it, but it is a very serious sign, symbolic, very symbolic. Now I'll be bringing my guests in again, and we're going to be talking about these issues and, of course, treating them. Citizen AY, let's see if the people can hear you, better now. Please, you can go on with your submission. Since there's still a problem, but the network, the network is full here. So
hear me?
I don't know. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
There's a network.
Yes, we can hear you. I can see the network is full here. It's okay here. It's giving me the green light.
Hello.
Yeah, please go on. Yes, please go on. We can hear you.
Now, what we would say is
he should be here for therapy.
For life
we're still having problems with it's still cracking badly.
It's cracking.
Yes, maybe you have to refresh. Then you just go out and then refresh. And then, or you just be there, just refresh it, and then it just brings you in immediately. Then to do better job. And once you just refresh, it would help. Let's as much as wait for him. Dr. Ngozi, I am crazy about this whole thing. I'm so angry about what is going on. I'm so angry. Okay, Citizen AY, are you there? I think you need to refresh. Once you refresh, we're going to have you. Dr. Ngozi, it's crazy here. What is wrong with our people that they are not able to see the problem, and yet they fight themselves, they fight the help coming, they fight those who want to help them, they fight those who want to support them, they fight those who want to help them come out of this stupidity, and yet they are embracing the enemies. What do you have to say about this?
Thank you so much, Kelechi. Marike, thank you so much for that wonderful comment. Prince, thank you so much. And Airway, I know he's having a problem with his network. Let me start by saying that when you see Nigerians inside Nigeria act, don't blame them too much. Do not. Do not. Because when you've been in a system for so long, and you've been in an oppressive system for so long, and you've been in a system where your psyche has been over the years gradually upturned to the point where you see evil, you see fire, and you fall into that fire. Don't blame them too much. What is happening in Nigeria is not just the problems by the citizens or what they are doing. You also have to put into cognizance the years, the many years of suppression, oppression, and mentally degrading an average Nigeria living inside Nigeria to almost an animal, if I can use that word. Not all of them. So when they behave like this, you have to also think about what has made them to behave the way they are behaving. And the people that has largely contributed to this behavior, this animalistic behavior you're seeing among most Nigerians, are the people up there that are still doing the same thing till today. Look at how people are fighting in the bank. Are they supposed to be doing that? No. Why are they fighting like that in the bank? Because most of them are already stressed up. Most of them probably may have been looking for money, looking for the new Naira notes for years, for months, for days, and they can't get it. Meanwhile, their own old currency, the leadership have instructed them to pay their old currency into the bank within a certain time frame, which most of them did, because nobody want to be caught up with that old note that will become an illegal tender after some dates. So now, majority of them have paid the money. Remember, Nigeria, most of them trade with Naira. They had the notes, the digital is there, but majority of our citizens, they trade with money, physical notes. So when most of them have put in all their physical notes into the banking industry and have not been able to get the same amount of physical note that they put into the banking system. In fact, virtually, some of them have gotten nothing. Some of them went to the bank and nothing is happening. Some went there, they said there's new Naira notes. So you cannot give what you don't have. Let me just start from there. Nigeria cannot give what they don't have. All of them, majority of them in leadership position. You can't give what you don't have. The changing of a new note, new currency, is something that's supposed to be done effortlessly. Nobody even need to notice there's a change in currency, because as the old notes are being moved into the banking system, the new notes are moving back into the society. But you see a situation where Nigeria cannot give what they don't have. So I can go on and on, but the only thing that Nigerians that knows, most of the diasporans that knows, and some Nigerians inside the country that knows how a system needs to function, and they are enjoying that in all the parts of the world where they exist. All they can do is to stand up at this critical time and make sure Nigeria is divided. That is the only way we can progress as individuals, as our different country, as our different entities, and our psyche will start to rewind and start to grow. Unless we do that, and when I say that, the Biafrans, the Oduduwas, the Arewas, the South, the Middle Belt, we all need to come together, because all of you are experiencing this problem. Our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, they are experiencing this same madness all over the country. How do we stop that? Do you want to validate these same people that are doing this recklessness, destroying the country? There's no way it's going to happen. We all need to come together and say enough is enough. We all want to grow as an individual, as a community, as a country, whatever country we want. We must all come together and make sure we do not validate this same madness, this same craziness by participating in this 2023 election. When it comes to the terrorists that are spreading the new Naira notes, That shows you the same thing we are dealing with. You cannot give what you don't have. The current Nigerian leadership does not have anything. The majority of them does not have what it takes to build an egalitarian society, a successful society, a country where things work, a country. So majority of the people living inside Nigeria, their psyche has been so messed up that even in the midst of suffering, in the midst of all this madness, some of them are still comfortable. So are we going to continue that madness to continue because the majority, their psyche has been messed up? No, it cannot continue. So the terrorists that are spraying the new Naira notes, that shows you that while the majority of the indigenous people are looking for these new notes, the terrorists are using and spraying, showing us that they have the Nigerian new note. That shows you there's something wrong with the leadership. You cannot validate Nigeria as a country because from the top, it's all messed up. And the only way we can stop and start behaving like human beings is to make sure that this election this month does not happen. I read in one of the newspapers a pregnant woman that died because the husband could not raise the new notes to take the woman to the hospital to deliver. A pregnant woman died in Nigeria because the hospitals refused to take the woman to deliver. And the husband was running from one bank to the other, from one POS to the other, just to raise money to pay the hospital so that the wife could deliver a baby. The woman eventually died. How can any sane person validate a country or an election where something like this happens? Meanwhile, the terrorists, they are flashing the new notes. But we lost a child. We lost a child. It happened somewhere in the northern part of Nigeria. And many will be, that's just the one on the paper. I'm telling you, so many indigenous Nigerians are going through hell. Through hell. Just because of this control, this Fulani controlled entity called Nigeria, where there's no progress. We cannot continue. We can't continue to validate a system like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, why? Because I'm so angry about this whole thing. Now, the problem, the reason why I'm so angry about this whole thing is that our people are displaying enough stupidity that warrants some kind of radical action. And I know that this is all about the mental disease that the British contraption has imposed on the people based on the overtime. Now, we had a situation where we called for sit at home, for the people to sit at home for a particular cause for 2 days and all of that, and 5 days. We had our own people fighting against the sit at home. Today, we have Nigeria system carrying out a policy that lots of people, this is just one of the examples of the pregnant woman dead. We have lots of people. I tell you that for the past 3 days now, I've received over 20 calls from the zoo of I need money. I am telling you, for the past 3 days, I've received over 20 calls. People are dying. People are telling me, please, what can you do? And I keep crying inside of me. What do you do about this? These are the ones that know you. You can imagine those ones. And these ones are not even, these are people who are working, but they don't even have money. They cannot survive it. Not talk about the millions that are jobless, unemployed. Now, but yet, Shell in Britain declared $40 billion profit 2022, cashing out on the people. And ExxonMobil cashed out with 56 billion last year. And yet we have our people, none of them are writing letters against their own people. Why are they calling for sit at home? We are writing to the government. We're writing to the international community. They must not sit at home. They are killing people. They are not talking about the people dying now. Our politicians are not talking about that. Please, what do you have to say about this issue?
Well, I think, I've been receiving calls a lot. First of all, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I want to apologize for the break in transmission earlier on. Many guests following us, and we're back live, and hopefully it's more stable now. I'd like to state the harrowing story that our sister, Dr. Ngozi, just said now. The harrowing pregnant woman, the husband running from place to place, from POS to POS, to us, the hospital will still accept the money to deliver her child. Unfortunately, what are we? Is that a governance? That tells you. This tells us how bad this has gotten. We cannot hide this and pretend as though this is not something that's happening. This is our lived experience. If you're a Hausa, if you're a Yoruba, if you're a Biafra, you experience on a daily basis. And the goal, this sickening thing is to stay there and say, oh, by the way, it doesn't matter. No, you know, I've got money. You know, a terrorist walking around flashing who are supposed to be citizens. And this is a terrorist. These are foreigners. The people who are flashing the money, they're not Nigerians. They are terrorists that have been brought in by the government, paid for money. And our people, we the people who own the land, are being forced to be killed. Who imposed this contraption on us? The British, the colonials are supporting every single action of the terrorist Fulani. That is what our people need to understand. Very much like you said, we've been psychologically conditioned. Again, Dr. Ngozi said that, you know, we're conditioned to accept our own oppression. In fact, to embrace the oppression, work with our people. One of the saddest things that I see is the feed themselves. A woman had to take off her clothes a few days ago in the bank because the banks wouldn't give her money. So she had to take off her clothes in the bank, seeing her, and they had to. It was only when she took off her clothes that they said, "Oh, come." That I don't know quite how people are talking about one Nigeria when you are seeing cases of how failed the state that Nigeria has become, failed state. Whatever criteria you care to use, Nigeria state. What we want is for the people to speak in honesty. Let me this discussion, and I want people to really pick up and understand this. 774 local government areas have. Did you hear me? Let me say that again. 700 local government authorities right now in continental Nigeria. They have 0 local government. What does that mean? It means that the money that is meant for each of the local government by the constitution, they are only able, they can only make a mandate. It is not a mandate in the constitution for the state government to the local government area. Furthermore, the local government have no constitutional power. It means that you cannot hold anybody in the local government to account for anything they fail to do. Stating in the constitution for the local government area to fix anything, and for you, and that is the flaw in the fundamental flaw in this constitution that nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about. And this is what we need for our people to understand. A nation that's going to work at all, that has to be addressed. The lack of autonomy for the local that was put there by the military. It was put in by Babangida, but he did the local government areas, then Abacha, then Abdul Salam. But nobody's saying anything about this. Secondly, as we speak, if they wanted to put a motion before the National Assembly and the House of Assemblies, all of them, they prevented the motion autonomy to be placed before the National Assembly. That is what is happening. But nobody's saying anything. Stopping this and telling you to go and vote. What do you think your vote is going to count for? Without you vote for is zero. Without local government authority, whatever you vote for, you cannot apply anything. You cannot hold local government to account. You cannot do it. The governors and the House of Assemblies, they are the ones sitting on the money. It is designed that way. It was built in that constitution that way. That is the fatal foundation that we need to address. And these are things that people are, and I will not tire. I will be coming on every platform to wake up our people. The first and foremost we must do, election will not solve it. I'm telling you, when you vote, the next day, this local government autonomy is the first obstacle that comes in your face, and you are back to square one. It will change nothing. It will change not. Understand that fact. Every one of us, we need to go into our villages, our towns, this message to our people, without coming out, all out for referendum. That's the first referendum with a clause for self-determination. Because there is no more point in voting. If you like, let 100% people, 10 billion will be. The next day he comes into the office, his hands will be tied. But autonomy is the biggest stumbling block. That is where governors, House of Assembly members, senators, that is where they make their billion. And for the local government area is what they sit on the state level. It never reaches the local. In the constitution, there is no provision for local government autonomy, and that is what we're faced with. And until every one of us understand this point, I've done a program that talks specifically about it. 3 areas I want you to look at. Number 1, that constitution, Abdul Salam signed it on the 5th of May 1999. That's point number 1. There is no local government autonomy, and it was designed that way from the beginning. But number 3, another thing I want to play. If you go within there, number 39, section number 39, within that list, when any local mineral resources in your local government area, you have no control over it because local government autonomy. What are we talking about? What is one Nigeria? That is the foundation. Sorry, I am shouting, but
It's okay.
so sad. It is frustrating that our people. I understand very much, like Dr. Ngozi said, we need to coax our people to wake up. Your election will not fix local government autonomy. Pull us that. Your election, voting on the 25th of February, to not solve the problem of the local government autonomy. The only thing that can solve it, that everybody must go and demand for immediately, whether there's an election or not, because the constitution that's been put on us is a fatally flawed constitution designed that way. Power the people to whom the land belongs, and you look at how they're bringing in Fulani'S. Fulani'S are being given the right to be the ones running where they expect the local people that they're displacing to go to. Let me say that slowly. In Edo State, when they displace the Edo people, they to them to go to the IDP camps that are organized by the terrorists, they very displace them. What are we talking about? So look, Nigeria can never ever function until we understand this fact. Again, I'm going to state that again. And 74 local government authorities have zero. You do not control your resources, budget, and the people cannot hold them to account. Then you can, as simple as that. That is the fundamental fact that many people fail to realize. And I want us the plan of those military men, Babangida, late Abacha, Abdul Salam, and until we break it down, we are going nowhere. That referendum is that all of us must realize, and we mustn't relent. We need to spread that message to our people. That is the fundamental now. I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Prince, Princess, you see, I wanted to continue this narrative and this on this issue of, you know, this economic stranglehold and this war that our people are not realizing yet. Some of our people are not realizing yet. Now, how symbolic is this war to the mental state of the people to stand for themselves?
Kelechi, thank you so much. And I thank my brother Ayo. I thank my sister Ngo. If I tell you that I'm depressed, that would be an understatement. Extremely distressed and depressed. Especially hearing this story about the pregnant woman, which is only a drop in the ocean when you now consider what many are going through. And my pain is derived from the fact that I know what God made us to be. And also the fact that many allowed themselves to become vehicles in their own slavery. It is too painful because I don't know how we got into this state. And I totally agree with Dr. Ngozi when she mentioned the fact that whatever you're seeing in Nigeria is just the byproduct of that contraption. I agree with my brother Ayo when he speaks a lot about the Nigerian constitution as the chain that is used to trap everybody in that mad place. But I also know that for me, anybody that sees Nigeria as a country, anybody that says, I don't care whether you are carrying Nigerian passport, but if you say you're a Nigerian, you are mad, you're crazy, you're just, you are not good to be part of the equation in this earth. And I want people to stop giving Fulani credit because I don't think they will be able to think out anything. I want people to know that anything to do with this economic madness, anything to do with the imposition of these what I call occupying forces. These are ideas that came from British government.
That's right.
And they can't run away from it.
That's right.
You know, until we, yes, because if we don't begin to pin down, if you don't know the person, the hand that is holding you, and you are fixated on the other hand that you think, you'll be held forever. I want people to know that the whole plan about, I saw it as soon as they said they're going to change the currency. I knew there was, and you find that the change was gearing towards election time. And they knew that people who wanted not to vote and they wanted to scatter the whole thing. So they wanted to make sure they took control of everything to do with your economic power. This is the wickedness of man on earth. Okay, your fellow mortal being wants to take away your autonomy, lock you down, even though they have not been placed in charge of this world. They assumed that position and they want to lord it over you. This is when you have to declare that you are a human being like them. This is when you want to declare that you are not only in it to save yourself, but to save them, because these are the mad people of this earth. These are the devils of this earth. There is no minimizing of this evil, because anytime you try to minimize evil, anytime you try to moderate evil, you become the evil in itself. You must call out evil for what it is and attack evil, because evil is not meant to be part of this human endeavor. We are dealing with the devils of this earth, and then we go to church or wherever we go to go and look for the devil and think it's a spirit. These are the devils that you're looking at you, and you're still waiting. So I tell you something, they have declared their intention. Our job is now to counter that intention. And we are countering it with love, because we are not just saving ourselves, we are looking to save them. We need to understand that whatever we choose to do now, it doesn't matter what that is. It's based on love. Because these people are on to suicide. That is what they are onto. And I honestly, I'm trying to devise the correct adjective, because I don't think we have enough in the dictionary to describe what is going on. All I want to say and I want to maintain is that if you are breathing as a mortal being and you can't see what I'm seeing, you can't understand what I'm understanding, you are the problem. You're not just part of the problem, you are the problem. And in fact, I would love us to concentrate our energy towards what we're going to do. I don't care, we have to verbalize it. They need to know. We don't do hide and seek. They need to know what we're going to do. And we have to go forth and do it. Remembering that when it comes to our freedom, it is in our own hands. We can't depend on anybody to give us freedom. Because the word, the heart of man, the scripture tells us, is perpetually wicked and deceitful, and we know it. And because we know it, we must protect ourselves against these evil. We have to. It's a duty. It's a responsibility. Otherwise, what's the point in living? What's the point in breathing? So I would love us to concentrate more on what we need to do now to deal with this, please. That's just where my heart is leading me to.
Yes, that's where. Now, thank you so much, Prince. I'm going to get you on this now, before Dr. Ngozi comes in this, and then Prince will take it up from there. You know, and I want to link it here now, you know, to the concept of control. Now, of course, what we need to do, as Prince have said, now, if you look at that critically very well, the video, we saw that they were expressing this, their control, but they were expressing it because they had something. They had the weapons. They had the AK-47 and all those things with them, which means that if we're going to have any, if we're going to be able to discuss, you can discuss with somebody holding an AK-47. They are holding it because they have come to deal with you, they have come to kill you. And which means that if we're going to talk on the normal, if we're going to talk on the same looking eyeball to eyeball, we're also going to have our AK-47. And we're going to hold our weapons too, and then we sit down, and then we place it on the table, facing each other and discuss, if we have to even really discuss. And it has to get to a point where they would have to call us on the round table. You know, that is the essence of what we need to do now, the action we need to do and take right now. And that is where I want to go. Now, the center point for this control is that aspect where the mind of the people are controlled, and that's religion. And that's why I want to bring in this religion here now to how we're going to solve this problem. Now, I want the people to understand this. If religion really meant well for you, then the control of religion shouldn't come from abroad. Because if religion is just to send the gospel to you so that you can change your ways, then they should stop controlling you from abroad. Now we hear now that the Pope is in Somalia now. The Pope went to DRC yesterday. He's now in Somalia. He's preaching peace. And the people who are being controlled, the people they brought this gospel to, they are not giving them the right to control that gospel. They feel that it's from the Lord also by themselves. They still want to control them from abroad, which simply means that it is all about control, and it is all about religious control and control of who you are, rather the gospel for your soul. It's about how they control you. And that is what happens to the people. Every Sunday they go to churches, they go to mosque on Fridays and all of that, and they are controlled. Yet none of these people have come out to tell the people that this policy of government is bad. None of them have faced the government to speak since this thing started. Citizen AY. Yeah. What do we do now? The next action that everybody must understand from the perspective of the Oduduwa nation. How do we approach this?
Thank you very much. There's two things, but it has to start with knowledge. You see, if our people, you see, there's a saying in my language. If you want to show what is wrong with the eye, you have to take out rubbish in the eye and show it to the eye like this. That is when they will get the message wrong. Because many of us are walking around with that stuff stuck in our eyes, and we're not awake. Talk to them in that present mode, whereby the stuff is the man won't listen to you. That is the problem that we face. But once they're aware of what is the problem, they are going to be the first ones in sorting the problem out. Too many of us are conditionally and mentally conditioned to accept our the injustice, the enslavement that we're in. So our job is to tap into that area. However, we need to do that. It's one thing. Look, there's a saying, enslaved. You can put the key to get out of that front of him. He will not see the key. He will still be, because that's where they've been conditioned to be. He will not take that key and take the. That is the job that we need to do. Now, there's a myriad of ways we need to do it. Get into the communities to make them know that the people that they're praying to are the very people oppressing them. And we need to tell them that the people who are telling them to collect a bag of rice, they are the ones denying them the resources. We need autonomy to make sure that they know that all of the problems that they're facing is because of constitution. Now, when we do that, we now back it up with, okay, now that when they start getting, look, your salvation is in your hand. Nobody can do it for you. There's nobody from heaven coming down to help you. Serve your community. The stronger your community, the stronger you are likely to survive. The stronger they are resolved to break free from this contraption, the likely they will survive a series of messages. We can't just say it's one clear message like this. We got to skin down, making them aware that they are mentally conditioned to believe that they. Let me say that again. Our people have been mentally conditioned to believe that our job to be able to get them to take action is to wake them up. People go to the churches and the church will say do this and they will do it. They go to the mosque, but the constitution that is holding them to ransom every day, they give you clear information. There's something they cannot dispute. The local government has a problem we face in that contraption. And every community, that is why you have built homes everywhere. There are half-built homes in every community. But it is because those infrastructure that you need, the roads, the water, the light, the for that, the state government, because of the design of the constitution, sit on it to explain. Look, we have to educate our people that, look, number one, we're not saying don't do religion, but understand that in the context of Nigeria, and in fact, it is being used to control you and condition your mind to accept injustice. They're saying you. That's right. What they'll bring to you over and over. That's but right. These people are doing the sin and nobody, they're not paying the price. And the people who are behind, we have to make them understand that the Fulani'S in power, they are being controlled by the colonial. The colonials are controlling Shell and BP. They're recording, crazy profit. And where's the profit coming from? It's coming from the resources of the people local government autonomy to talk to. So why don't we make them aware of that. Look, without sorting this constitution, we're going nowhere. Without sorting, and this is something that I think we need to have a way to deal with that. Now, there is the other side of it as well. I'm going to reiterate. The people have to free themselves. And we have to make sure we provide the means about that. We have to provide the means to make sure that they have to fight, fight their way out. If you're not awake, you can't fight. That's what you're not awake, you can't fight. People and begging a government that is already, they've consigned you to impoverishment. That constitution. And until you don't, unless and until we collectively take that step, that is the reality. We can't move anywhere. I've just told you, this local government, they withdrew a motion that would have given to all local governments just a few days ago, and nobody said anything. But they will go to church and pray. They will go to the mosque and pray. Of what use is your prayer if the most impact in your life? You look to completely the other way. And that is by design. Our people take the religion as the most important things when what is the most important information and how to rip it up. That was the message, that must be the message we must send. But you just wait. You need to protect yourself. You have a right to life. In that constitution, on that life, and you have a right to defend that life. The UN guarantees the right to life. So please, let's even what I'm saying here. At all times, every community, you need to set up vigilante group. One thing is when you have vigilante group, set up and protect yourself. And then if you have to then go for what you need to take. So I'll stop there for now. I hope that answers the question.
Right. Dr. Gozi, what's your perspective to this?
I think Ewa is absolutely correct. When you see the what is going on, you will discover that most of the analysis he did right now is exactly what is playing out. And that takes me to what I always tell Nigerians. There are only two classes of people in Nigeria. Those perpetuating the criminality and those that are suffering the criminality. The people perpetuating this criminality, they will do everything possible, including using the Nigerian legislative system, using the Nigerian military, using the Nigerian police, using the Nigerian security services, the DSS. They will use all these machineries to make sure that their position is secured in Nigeria. The other group of people, the rest of Nigerians that are feeling and paying the price for the activities of these criminals, they will always continue to suffer the consequences until they rise up and say enough is enough. And let me chip in one thing. This criminality that AY is talking about, it spreads across the whole country. If you listen to what he just said, it's not just in the West, in Oduduwa. It's not just in the East, in Biafra land. It's not just in the North. It's not just in the Middle Belt. It's not just in the South side. So in every part of Nigeria, you have these criminal Fulani'S spread across, either by birth, by DNA, or by influence. So they influence people in the particular region to carry out what they want. And those people have to carry out that. So let us know that when we say Fulani'S, there might be some good Fulani'S, there might be some innocent Fulani'S that are not part of this criminality. I mean, Fulani'S, the good ones, have lived in Nigeria all these years. Our focus should be on the criminal Fulani'S that are spread out in all parts of Nigeria, not just those that are called
Dr.
Fulani'S.
I want to disagree with you there. Because we are not going to, if we want to try that, we're going to be in the precarious situation, because the Fulani'S have been, a dangerous tribe to the people. We have lost over 6 million people, and we cannot now start to look for those who are.
Yes,
so all of them, we brand them all.
Yeah, I hear you, and we can all agree to disagree. The thousands of Biafrans that were killed by Hope Uzodimma, is Hope Uzodimma a Fulani?
That is why we say they have much of them. The Fulani's, we brand all of them, including Hope. All of them are branded. Because we don't have the time, we don't have what it takes to actually tell who's good and who's bad.
Exactly. So we can all agree to disagree, but I'm telling you that there are Fulani's in all parts of Nigeria.
That's right.
Either by birth, by DNA, or by influence. You do not have to be a Fulani to carry out a Fulani genocide in Biafra land, or in Yoruba land, or in North Nigeria, or in Southern Nigeria. And that's why I ask you that question. The ones that are used, the Biafrans that are used to kill Biafrans, are they, some of them may have a Fulani DNA, but do they answer Fulani's? No. But they belong to that category. Those two class of people that I'm explaining to you in Nigeria that exist, and the first class that are perpetrating this criminality, they partner with Britain. They put their people in different positions in all over the world to continue to perpetuate their hold on other Nigeria. So that's where I'm coming from, because Hope Uzodimma is not a Fulani. The people that killed people during the EndSARS, they are just not Fulanis. The people that massacre, the Ihamufo killings, some of them are Biafrans. So that is the point I'm trying to make. You do not need to go far to see Fulani blood, Fulani behavior, Fulani influence in all parts of Nigeria. Just like AY has said, a bill that was supposed to protect the local government, but all of them in that category, they all came together and they voted to protect themselves. So will you call all of them Fulani? No. There are Biafrans in that category. There are Yorubas in that category. And they will protect themselves. So we have to look beyond just Fulani's. We also have to know there are Fulani's in all parts of Nigeria. And unless we take care of these Fulani's, this thing that is happening will never stop. Yes, there are innocent Fulani's. There are innocent Biafrans all over. There are innocent Yorubas. There are innocent Middle Belt. T.Y. Danjuma has told us that these people that are perpetrating this criminality, that brought in these terrorists that are killing us, they are spread across the whole country. And all we can do is arm ourselves and protect our land. So protecting our land is not just you target or say, oh, this Fulani, I'll kill you. You start from your own community. There are Fulani blood within your community that you have to take care of to make sure that your country, your community move forward. So that's the angle I'm coming from. Again, somebody asked a question here that says, when they send dollar, how can they get the dollar? I just want to appeal to everybody listening to me. Most of our people in Nigeria, in Biafra, they need help at this time. Because remember, they told most of them to go and pay in their money. Now, when they pay in their old currency, some of them are not getting the new currency. So I'll just appeal with, those of us in diaspora, try and reach out to your people, help them. When the law, to answer Ugochi's question, when you pay dollar, maybe you can use Western Union, which is great. When you, or any other form, it doesn't really matter. When you pay in dollar or pounds or something, and you send it to the bank, the law in Nigeria is when they go, they will give them dollar. They don't change it. They give them that dollar back. So when they collect the dollar, they can now go and change it in the black market or something. So that is how I think Ugochi's question is answered. So yeah, you can reach out and then if you give them the dollar, then they will go to the bank and pick the dollar, and then they will change it just for this brief moment. If they can eat very well for the next 1 or 2 months, just give them something, just for them to survive this tragic period of clueless leaders that we have that are making things so difficult for them. So that is the answer to that. And then, again, the last thing I want to highlight is this. because Nigerians, some of them, their psyche has been messed up, but let us not lose hope. Let us know that because people within that country are not talking does not mean they don't know what is going on. People have been pushed. Most Nigerians have been pushed to the limit. So they know what is going on, but because of the oppression and suppression that have been meted out to many of them just for expressing their opinion, they have been attacked by the leadership, security apparatus. Do not lose hope. We have to continue to enlighten our people. We'll continue to let them know what is on ground. We'll continue to let them know what is at stake. We'll continue to educate them. But I know, and I promise you that majority of Nigerian youths, majority of Nigeria from east, west, north, and south, they know what is on ground. And I believe that this February 25, this election they are planning, Nigerians all over will send a strong message to this class of cabals that have perpetuated this criminality among Nigerians over the years. So they may not be talking because of their fear. They may not be talking because of being vindicated and attacked and all that. But what we have to do, T.Y. Danjuma, the army chief, has already told all Nigerians what to do. And I strongly believe that Nigerians are doing that in their own way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that submission. Prince Ezem, we have the stifling and the control of the people with the guns and the weapons. We have the control of the people economically through finance and all of that. And I think that strategically, looking at the way of solving this problem is addressing the point of control. Now, financially, of course, we know that that point of control is the resources and making the people, struggle with what they need and to get what they have to get and all of that, which means that the intervention there is for us to come in that direction. And also talking about control with the weapons, we need to acquire our own weapons because they have brought their weapons, so we go with our weapons too. And whatever means, because there's always a solid control in different ways. And religiously also, they use the people who call themselves religious leaders as a control, and which means we have to tell our people also, whether even if it's to boycott the religious leaders and to show them massively that we are not, even if it's to stop going to church on Sundays or going to the mosque. Of course, their Fulani stuff encourages them to kill people. So we cannot tell them to leave the mosque because they will always go. That's why they are there. That's why they are Fulani'S, and that's why they are Islam, because Islam supports killing, violence, and all of that. It's in the Quran. We have seen it several times, and we can quote it several times. So in the context of us, we are being killed massively, and we are not going to take it for granted this time. We have to do all religiously. For those who are going to church, we can preach to tell them, stop going to church, to protest to that man who is called your priest, and that we are not going to take it lightly again because of his silence. And if he believes that he's a leader, he should come out and speak for the people, and that is why he's a leader. We talk about the resources, the money, the control. We can even try to begin to do something regarding our control, our resources now. We talk about weapons. We buy our weapons. Everybody try to get a weapon to deal with this evil. What do you think about this? I believe that that's that kind of solution what we need now, because they have pushed us too far.
Thank you, Kelechi. I need every listener to understand what these people are doing. So, because understanding is everything. If you lose the understanding, you can't find solution. And I want to assure and reassure everybody that wherever you identify a problem, it means that there is a solution. Now, I need to disagree slightly with the idea about sending foreign currency. To be quite honest, what they have done is to make sure there is no more circulation of Naira anywhere. So even the black market. So it doesn't matter how much money you are carrying, the black market will either give you a little or tell you they don't have enough Naira to give you. So, because we need to understand the depth of the problem so that when we go for solution, we're going to be doing something that will do something that they never thought human beings can think out. I'm still working on the strategy that we need to go about this. But there is something that is very important that we all capture. I want people to know that this thing called Nigeria, people need to know that it is British Enterprise Limited. Please, please, please get to know this. It is actually, it's like me going to open a shop and giving it a name. And whoever that works there is working for me. It doesn't matter whether that person is religion or politics or police or army. You are working for me. And if you are not working for me, I will sack you until I find the person that will do the bidding for me. So that's why I want everybody to know that the Fulani are working for Britain. Your governors are working for Britain. Your priests, those that are wearing these robes, your pastors,
they are working for
are all working for Britain. You can't look. I want you to know that all this idea of, oh, Africa has no good leader or they're all corrupt, is a lie. If you bring anybody who is going to work for you in the British Enterprise Limited, they will find a way to disorganize and destabilize and get rid of that person until they find somebody that can work for them.
That's right.
If we don't see and understand these things in that way, you will be, in fact, the people preparing to go into government, okay, you can see why they go to Chatham House. That is where they go to assess what they are bringing, if they are good enough to work for British Enterprise Limited, even though they called it Nigeria. That's the name they chose to give it, okay? But the true name is British Enterprise Limited, okay?
That's it.
They know that this enterprise had actually expired, okay, since 2014 because it was a 100-year enterprise.
Yeah, at least.
They know, they recognize that it has expired. And they know that the only way the enterprise will carry on going forward is through the renewal of slavery certificate through election. That's why they are all running up and down. All they don't want to see that the Nnamdi Kanu is illegally held.
No.
They don't want to see all the killing. They don't see anything other than get your PVC and go and vote because they want to continue to renew the British Enterprise Limited. What did I say? I am saying that your priests, your imams, your pastors, your police, your army, your federal representatives, your senate, everybody, these are all workers of British Enterprise Limited. Okay? When you now understand it that way, please give me a moment. I need to answer the door and then I can come and finish this particular topic. Please, somebody's at the door.
All right, please. Everyone watching, I believe we're getting the narrative very well. We must begin to understand these things in perspective because the problem is that we have this limited way of understanding things because we have been bastardized by the concept of Nigeria. First, you must understand that you have nothing to do with Nigeria because Nigeria is just a company. So you can be a Nigerian in the first place because it's a company and you can't be a company. You can't represent another person's company and call yourself the name of the company. So it's absurd for you to think and to call yourself a Nigerian in the first place. That is why we say that if you call yourself a Nigerian, you cannot be an intellectual. It's either you're an intellectual or you're a Nigerian. And as long as you are a Nigerian, definitely you have lost the capacity to reason because you don't even understand what it means. Since you want to say something along that line.
Yeah, Nigeria in a short, it is a slave name. It is a name given. The only when a foreign country dismantles your kingdoms, takes away your roots, your resources, enslaves your people, and then gives you a name, is seeing you as a slave. The name he gives you, Kunta Kinte. When they said Toby was saying, no. You are not. When they were saying Kunta Kinte, they said no. This is what they are doing to us.
Yes.
This is what is being done to us. We are being told by man. They said no. You have to say Nigeria. You are saying you are Biafran. They said no.
Yes.
Middle Belt are saying no. We're not Nigerians. No. Well,
yes.
You are Nigerian. You're not Nigerian. And they are beating us in our own land. That is the reality. But the
same way it goes also
are the Fulani'S.
Yes, the same way it goes also, you know, when you talk about they use the concept of religion to rename the people. They give you the baptismal name. You know, they know the strength of name. So they want to give you this. You don't have personality, you don't have an identity. We give you your identity.
Exactly. These people who come to loot our resources, they have our resources, museums every day. Where is the money? That money should be coming. The resources should come to what it should come back to us. But they are telling us that we have to keep the name they're giving us, and they're using, and we're accepting it. I am not a Nigerian. I'm a Yoruba man. I know my ancestors and history. I speak Yoruba. In Yoruba land, I've said it before on this platform. The one of a young man, 30 years old, it is over 130 born dated. Yoruba man. In that part. So there is, what is British? 2,000 years? Compare that against 130,000. And you're going to tell me I'm a slave name? Nigeria is a slave name, period. However, it is a slave name. And we need to understand that, like very much like Ian said, British company that is being imposed on us and used to loot our land. That fought against them. King Jaja fought against the British. He was enslaved him, right? Then he freed himself. Then he fought. He said, no, you have to sign a trade agreement. He said, no. This is my land, my people. You comply with my trade. For us, the reason I'm saying this, when we say Nigeria, we are telling us who we are in our own land. That is an abomination.
Abomination.
It is an abomination, and we need to wake up.
Yeah.
Me, I am a Yoruba man. I will put it on a passport in my mind till I die. I'm Yoruba.
That's
man.
it.
I'm telling you now. Till I die, this Yoruba vein blood that is going through my veins as I speak. It is right. It's in my blood. I will never be a Nigerian. Fine, you can write it down. But that is your reality. I have my direct connection to my ancestors. Go as far back as 130,000 years. And you can. That is what that is why history is so important. Let me even give you a little story. What the first TV station in the whole of Africa was done by Biafra in the then Western region. That is a history that many of us don't know. They say NTA. Emphasis of what Western region did. But these are history we don't know. We have to be beginning to celebrate the greatness of our people. We're not Nigerians.
Yes.
We're not. I will never. Yes, we're going to put it on and say, yeah, this is Nigeria. But Nigeria is being the of our resources. But like Prince Iheanacho said, they are having our resources every day to keep us in line. Oh, yes. Oh, be nice. Oh, forgive. Turn the other cheek. I'm sorry, that cheek has gone. It's gone. The days of in your own land, you don't turn the other cheek. You have to answer the call of your ancestors and take back your land.
Correct.
In your veins, your ancestors they're running through your veins. They are waking you up. Look, there's an awakening going on. This is not just by accident. It is going to happen.
Yes.
Whether they like it or not. You see, it gets dark. Did you hear what I said? It gets darkest just before. Or do you think, oh, it's not, oh, it's still dark? Suddenly, boom. That's what's happening. But we have to work together. I want to urge Biafrans, Yoruba, even the Hausas, if they want to join us to dismantle this, because we are all in the right on us. It is unjust.
That's right.
We should not be answering to a foreign name. It would accept a foreigner calling them and giving them a name. How many British people will accept that? They will never. This song goes, we shall never rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. We shall never be slaves. That's what they sing. They sing that at the Royal National Theatre every year. And then you are taking, you are saying, never answer to the name Nigeria. I will never bow to anybody. Because in the UK here, I will follow their rules because it's their land.
Very well, of course, yes.
I will follow it. But
of course,
in my land, you will not name me. I reject your name. For 1,000 years, my ancestors support me, and you will never, ever rule over me. They're saying, with that song, they are every year, people go and sing that song, but they don't understand the kids. They get the kids to be singing that song. But the kids don't understand what they're doing. They are, you are superior. You are superior. That's the message. At the time you answer Nigeria, you are saying you are inferior. Every time you answer, psychologically accepting your inferiority. And that is what we need to be conclusive. This coming generation, the generation behind us, I know they are smart in direction. And they need to know some history. That name Nigeria is open and short case. End of story. And what I'm saying to you, that song, just like Rule Britannia, the whole world will come out. And that's what they sing. Kids, they will take the kids to sing, and they are waving the flag every year. Now, you don't want to be. But we have the right, I have the right as a Yoruba man to reject colonial on my land. And I reject the name Nigeria. My ancestors, Ashe.
Yes.
What's the debate? My ancestors are speaking through me. They are raging out. I'm not doing this myself. Do you?
Very well.
Yeah, that's it. You start telling me.
Yes.
The time is now. The time is now. That name is the slave. You answer that name. That is their claim to our land.
That's it.
The name Nigeria, our land that they rule over us. And with its time, this is all over Africa. We need to, our language, Igbo language, must be spoken by everyone who wants to do business. When you get Biafra land, that language, anybody that wants to do business, if they can't come out, go. In Yoruba land, if you cannot speak Yoruba, Malo. Do they dare go to the Chinese and tell them to speak English? But we are speaking foreign languages in our own land. That is a sign of mentality. When you are in your land and you are speaking a foreign man's language in your land. Look, the colonial, the British, the French, all have all of Africa. They all have free movement. Check it. Africa. They don't have to kill you like we do. But when we have to go from one place to the other, and they don't want us to work together. It's time we woke up. In Africa, I am here, I will follow the rules. That's what they want. But in my land, we must make our own rules. How we protect ourselves. And that is what we are. If you answer the name Nigeria, signal of an enslaved person, you are the clearest definition of an enslaved person. When you are saying, take me, I am your slave, take my land, take my resource. Stop that mentality. I am a Yoruba man. I will still die running through me, and nobody can stop it. There's no way they can take that blood out of my. This is something. Look, I'm going to tell you all this. I wasn't born in Nigeria, you know. I was born in Yoruba, and I wasn't born in Yoruba land. But Yoruba blood is running through me. What is talking to you now? It's not me. It's my ancestors. My ancestors that they are coming back through our veins and saying, my children, my son, go up 1, wake up 2, wake up 3. Remind them that we, the ancestors, to join us to free us. because we are not happy with what is being done to our land. Through you and me, through Prince Ihe, through you. Do you think you are doing what you're doing? It is your ancestors who are in your blood. This is, look, I'm telling you, those people know it. They can't change what is in the blood. It's in our DNA. Forget. Do you know how they do that? I'm sorry, I'm just telling a story. Every year, they want us to remember the Second World War. They want us to remember 9/11. They want us to remembering the suffering that we have suffered for 500 years. Where is the remembrance? We don't celebrate their own, what they've done to us in our own land every year. Brainwashing that we're faced with. Look at cocoa. They prevent our government from giving subsidies to our own farmers all over Europe. The farmers get subsidies to protect their own farmers. They said no, you mustn't get subsidies. And mainly, which is Africa importing grain. Why are we importing all over Africa? That is a sign of mental enslavement. This is deeper than you realize. We need to work. We need to speak this truth to power. Come what may. Come what may. If it means the end of me, so be it. But we need to speak for the coming generation. So that at least everything we're doing now, we're telling a story. Somebody, somewhere, they will listen to that light. And we don't know where it's going to lead. So I'm telling you, if you are Nigeria, that is slave mentality. That is the total definition of slave. The British sing, I'm saying you get it, they sing a song. Rule and rule the wave. We shall never, 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 never be slaves. Rule, that's the flag. They hold it in the flag. I want to start singing a song. Rule and Yoruba land rule the waves. We shall never, 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 never rule Yoruba land rule the waves. We shall never, 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 never. That's what I'm telling you. That's the mentality you have to take. You are not a slave. When you say slave, that is a psychological breakdown to accept by those who do not have anything to do. No connection with your land. So let me stop going. I'll stop. I'm sorry if I'm a bit.
Thank you so much. No, you were just, in fact, it was a right one. Before let Prince continue from there, because you just did a fantastic one there. Please, Prince Ezen, please continue from where you stopped, please.
So, my people, I need everybody to know that it is a fallacy when they tell you that Africa has no good leader. It's a lie. Good leaders have come and walked the grounds of Africa to do good for their people, but they've always killed them. They have always killed them. And they killed them to make sure that they replaced them with those that can hear the voice of their slave masters and do their wish and their will. You have to remember that somebody like Thomas Sankara lived on this earth. And not too long ago, you know about Gaddafi. You must know that good leaders, and there is a reason why Paul Biya is still in office, even demented. People put these people in places. Katrina Lang had seen that all we have to serve Nigeria entity, British, are criminals. Katrina Lang knows the status of Tinubu. Katrina Lang knows the status of Atiku. They also know the status of Peter Obi. That's why they are allowing them to run, because these are criminals. These are criminals to take over. Let anybody not confuse Peter Obi with anything, because Peter Obi knows himself very well, and Peter Obi will never criticize Atiku or Tinubu because they know Peter Obi more than you will ever know Peter Obi.
That's right. That's right.
So you see, all you have queuing up are people who want to serve in the British Enterprise Limited.
Mm.
When you understand this, then you know that you have to think differently. I want everybody to start, when we are dealing with solution, I want people to do this simple mental thinking. Because if you're not doing it, you're not a human being. I can guarantee that. Don't think that everybody is human. Mortal beings are made up of two vital components, the being and the human. The human is not a given. You have to work towards it. That's your spiritual connection. That's the power. You come in as a being from childhood. You can become a professor and you're still a being if you haven't activated your human side. So not everybody you see walking around is yet human. Before you become a human being, you have to go through a process before you activate that human side. So I need you to do this so you begin to become human. If you're in this world and you're not thinking creator, because that's your starting point, creator. Remember, you're coming in with nothing. Your parents came in with nothing. Your ancestors came in with nothing. So there was a creator. That creator tells you that if you don't acknowledge me, you will remain foolish. You will never be wise. That every wisdom comes from him, the creator.
Mm.
So if you haven't thought about creator, you would not know that you are a recreator. You listen to me and listen attentively. If you have not thought about creator, the owner of everything, you would not know the purpose for which you have been sent. You will allow idiots to kidnap and rob you of who you are. So you must think creator so you can recognize that you are a recreator, because you are going to recreate from the things the creator had already given in your hands to recreate from. When you think creator, you now think recreator, which is you. You now think autonomy. You now think free will. You now think choice. You now think independent thinking and independent capacity to be who you have been created to be. This is where you obtain your freedom and liberty from. If you haven't gone through these processes, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. Now, let me tell you, because of the problem that is before us, the Creator gave you power to recreate. The problem is that we have become so lazy, we are now depending on people who have derailed us to lead the way. So each time a problem comes, we fold our arms and wait for those that have enslaved you to lead the way. What we have here now is thorough challenge. And with challenges come opportunity. You see that thing called money? Man made it. And if we activate our brain now, we can find solution to something that we can trade with. Look, we have enough people in Biafra and enough people in Yoruba to formulate a quick plan as to how we exchange goods and services. You see, with challenges, comes solution. And if we don't want to go down that path, then we are going to mandate all the banks in Yoruba land and all the banks in Biafra to do the needful, or we uproot them.
That's right.
We have the power.
That's right. Yes, we do.
We can't allow fellow human beings to decide our lives for us anymore. When you recognize the Creator, then you know that you are a recreator. You know you have autonomy. You know you have choice. You know you have free will. You know you are meant to be an independent thinker. So nobody can take over your thought process and what you can plan to do. So there are many ways that we're going to deal with these people. We can't let this happen now, not in this time and not in this age. Let me tell you why they have always succeeded. And let me tell you why the solution that is being proffered by Biafra, you know, if they knew they would meet somebody like Simon Ekpa, they wouldn't have kidnapped Mazin Nandekan.
Right, yes.
And this is why I am warning them now. If they better work with Simon Ekpa, because if they tamper with Simon Ekpa, what is going to come? They don't even know how angry we are. They have no clue. The people that are behind Simon Ekpa, they better work with him and give him what he wants. Because we need to make Britain understand, and the Fulani, that we are beyond bribe. You can't bribe us. And we know who we are.
Yes.
We know who we are, and we know where we are going. Your bribe is not enough to tell us who we are. Your bribe can't do it. No amount can do it. So we are coming, and the solution is so simple that it only requires us to think deeper now. We are going to invent a way to trade with one another. We can do it. You see, that is why even this war going on in Ukraine, you can see now how the BRICS side had come up, because God created man to be independent. God created man to have autonomy. You can't impose your own way over everybody else. You can't do it. You don't own the world. You didn't create the world. We need sanity in this world. So what they have done now is actually, even though it's a challenge, it's actually an opportunity. Because you know what? There are two things we can do. One is to devise a way to trade with one another. We can change it. We can devise our own paper. We can do anything. I'm telling you. But if we don't want to do that, then we're going to mandate all the banks in Yoruba land, and because we cannot allow the bank where we have put our own money to now become an agent of a British Enterprise Limited, working to enslave us. Our money is in there, so we have every right to deal with these banks if they fail to meet our demands. We're going to show them that we are not just on this planet to make up the number. No, we are coming with our own ideology, our own systems, our own unique way of doing things. And if they want to benefit from it, they need to look into it and take what they want from it. But they can't take away our own uniqueness in this life. Okay? So I want people to see this as a challenge and understand that every challenge, it becomes an opportunity when you look at it properly and when you begin to formulate plans that will counter the challenge. So it shouldn't be a time to worry. The only thing it has exposed is the level of the devil in these people. So you don't go to church or wherever looking for the devil. I've told you already that the churches you're going to, the mosque you're going to, all these are part of British Enterprise Limited. They are all working towards the agenda to keep you as a slave. It is time to wake up and realize that God placed you on this earth to introduce your uniqueness and use it to serve one another and to use it to worship only God, not man, not things that are created and put underneath you. Everything created, God has put under you. You can't worship these things, let alone worship the things that you have created out of the things God created. We cannot be idolatrous. Let us worship God and let us use our unique gifts to serve one another. We can do it. We can do it. All hail Biafra. All hail Yoruba nation.
Yes.
Nobody is given the power to define you. Nobody is given the power to describe you. Nobody is given the power to introduce you, because you are not introducing them. They can't introduce you. You introduce yourself. You tell them what you're made of. You show them that there is something unique in you. You can no longer play these silly games with these people. The people have proven themselves to be crazy, even though they claim to be civilized, righteous, educated, and all the rest. They need your help more than you need theirs. So let's all wake up and go and do the needful. The time is here and the time is now. I thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. All hail Biafra, all hail Oduduwa Nation. Now, I wish we have enough time to really deal with all these things and talk more on these things, but of course, we're going to have some other time to deal with it. Dr. Ngozi, I know you have something in mind. That's because I was just watching you as Prince was talking and as AY was talking, you just felt like saying something. Let's hear you say something regarding this.
By the way, can I warn the audience? Nobody should look at my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend, so everybody should keep away.
Somebody posted something saying how beautiful she is. You know, somebody posted something. I wanted to call the person to order, but I just said let
please warn them.
Thank you so much, Kelechi. Prince, that was you just hit the nail on the head. And AY, you really, explained it. There's no better way than how we are all explaining it to our viewers. Nigeria was never meant to be one. So this is a big mistake that we all find ourselves in. And we are the one, just like Prince has said, that must break, I call it a curse. We must break this curse. Because how can you dump people, these different religion, different culture, different tribe, different language, you dump them together. This friction can never stop until Nigeria is divided. And when it comes to the way it's going to be divided, and when I keep saying there's Fulani in all parts of Nigeria, I mean it sincerely, not just by their blood, but also by the current leaders we have in Nigeria that have sworn to protect this crime, regardless, even if they have to kill their whole community to make sure that the Fulani agenda is realized. They are ready to do that. That's why I keep saying, let us not be distracted by just looking for Fulani or what Fulani has done for me. We have Fulani right inside our states, our communities. It is our task to discover them and move them out from our communities. Let them go where they belong. If we do not remove the internal Fulani's we have in our different states, communities, local government, how can you remove the main Fulani that is perpetrating all these atrocities across the whole West Africa, not just in Nigeria? The plan by the Fulani to move from one place to another and depopulate and occupy is something that has been happening over the years, over 100 years. That is their lifestyle. That's how they conquer. That is how they move. They enter a community. They depopulate, mostly the male figures in those communities. And the female, they kill children too. They rape. So they depopulate and they conquer, they overtake. That has been their modus operandi over the years. That is no longer a new thing. That's something that every single person listening to me needs to know. That has been their modus operandi. Depopulate and conquer. Then, the other question we have to ask, how did these Fulani's get into our communities? How did they penetrate into our communities where they are doing this depopulation and conquering? How did they get in there? And that is when I said that I'll just take out few. Majority of Nigerian legislators today, they carry out the Fulani agenda, directly or indirectly. So let us not be distracted by, we're looking for the person that is Fulani by birth. No. Fulani's they've entrenched themselves in our so-called people we voted into power because they approved their policies. These legislators have approved one of the policies that have contributed to the major chaos we have in Nigeria today is that apart from the years of planning for the Fulanization and all that, is the policy of rehabilitation and reintegration of non-terrorists into the Nigerian security forces, into the Nigerian military, into the Nigerian police. These same legislators we have cut across the whole Nigeria, they approve this policy. What country in the world approves the rehabilitation and reintegration of non-terrorists into their security forces? So how can we stop it? If you have non-terrorists in the Nigerian police, non-terrorists in Nigerian army, and when you say non-terrorists, we have Boko Haram, we have ISWAP, we have all these people in the Nigerian security apparatus. We have them in the military, we have them in the police, we have in the DSS. And what do you think they will be doing? They all will be carrying out the Fulani agenda, directly or indirectly. So that is why I'm saying, who are those that allow these policies? We have the Biafran politicians there. We have the Oduduwa politicians. We have the Middle Belt politicians. We have the South Side politicians. They all came together. And that's what I keep saying. There are only two classes of people in Nigeria. These politicians that are perpetuating this evil, and then the rest of the country. So we cannot just talk about attacking Fulani'S or what the Fulani'S are doing without attacking the politicians inside your own community that are approving and carrying out the Fulani agenda. And they are everywhere. So let me make it clear on that. That's what I mean when I say that even among our different communities, there are Fulani people there in the place of our leaders that are carrying out and supporting this agenda that will continue to allow the Fulani invaders to kill and maim and rape and destroy our economy. They are the ones burning our lands, burning our farms, burning our different markets. We see the pictures all over. So when you see them in military uniform carrying out uncivilized behaviors that is not expected of a country's military force, then you have to ask yourself, where is the order coming from? And I said it before, there is no attack that will go on in any Nigerian state without the approval of the governor of that state and their legislators.
That's right. Correct.
So when I say that, then Nigerians, you need to start knowing who your enemies are. If the state governor approves and the legislators approve that those Nigerian military, police, DSS should go and burn down a market, it's not being done directly by Fulani, but they're using your own legislators to carry those. So that's why I said there's Fulani all over Nigeria, and we need to track them, and we need to tell them enough is enough. The second point I want to say is this. I've already said we have different cultures, different tribes, different ethnicity, different religion. There's just no reason why we all should be done together, attacking each other, fighting each other. The Yoruba, the Hausa would think the Igbo is hurting them. The Fulani would think the Yoruba is hurting them. The Yoruba would think this one is hurting them. That is why it's important to divide. When you divide, you reduce that tension, you reduce that friction, so that people that have the same culture, the same religion, the same way of doing things, they will come together and live together and enjoy the harmony of each other, and then start growing. That is how we start growing. But again, it brings us back to those two classes of people in Nigeria. Those politicians that want to continue the perpetuation of one Nigeria by promoting those Fulani agenda. They already swore when they took oath of office to protect that. We don't expect much from them. So it is us that are bearing the brunt of this calamity that need to stand up and say enough is enough. Another thing I want to bring to our Katrina Lange, the British lady that was begging people to now go get their PVCs. I believe they're already getting the message, but if not, how could a British representative in Nigeria be part of the campaign for go and get your PVCs to vote? Because Britain wants to continue the perpetuation of evil in Nigeria, milking their resources, making sure they have that hold, that slavery hold on all Nigerians. And this time we are going to pass, the message is already being sent out. Not anymore. Nigerians are not going to be a stooge of the British Empire anymore. So while she's campaigning for Nigerians to go pick up their PVCs, I also will let her know she should be ready to tell the people that sent her the story she's going to get by February 25th, because she has no reason to be doing what she's doing. And Britain has no reason to continue their perpetual hold on Nigerian over 200 million people and be milking their resources every day and coming to tell the world you are here to monitor Nigeria election. Nigerians know her. They know what she's doing. And I'm just letting her know that we know those tricks. Whoever sent her, we already know. We've gone above those people that sent her. And the last thing I want to talk about is about the currency. So most Nigerians now, you know that because of this, it could be planned, it could be deliberate, the cash crunch. Some states in northern Nigeria now, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, their borders, they are using CFA now to trade. Yep. Inside Nigeria, they are using CFA. It's just like in the country where you are, inside the United States, for instance, or Britain, or London, or China, you are using another currency legally to trade in a market, in the border, and people are accepting those notes. That shows you Nigeria is finished. Because if you are in a country where they allow two currencies to be used officially, it is in Nigeria, it's in the Punch newspaper. You can Google that. It's in the Punch newspaper. They carried it. Sokoto State, Zamfara, Katsina, they are using CFA now in the borders and rejecting Nigerian Naira, old Naira. Crazy. So the Fulani'S mostly now have made it so difficult for even the what they call Nigeria to even exist. Because how can some part of the country is using another currency to trade and it's official inside Nigeria, and then in other parts you tell them to wait until your new Naira notes coming. So you stifle the economy, you create hunger, you create suffering, you create everything for those particular parts of the country. But CFA is being allowed. People are using it to trade officially inside a country you call one Nigeria. So there is nothing is going to stop this rain from falling. And I keep saying that those leaders that are perpetuating this criminality and thinking that Nigerians are fools, we are going to continue to do this, the status quo. I think they are in for a big shock on February 5th. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We, because of time, we just have to round off now. And it's been wonderful. You know, it's been wonderful having, you know, my guests and our guests talking, you know, strategically and very concise on the issues on ground and pointing out these facts to you to understand what is going on. And you have to understand that these are crucial This is the time to rise up. This is the time to wake up from your slumber, from your sleep, and understand that this is the time to break off the shackles called Nigeria. That thing holding us, that name Nigeria. This is the time to break it away, because when you understand your identity, you will never take that name on yourself and call yourself a Nigeria once you understand your identity. I want to thank my guests. Before we round off, I just want to ask Citizen AY to make his final Biafra and the people of Oduduwa, and then Prince Ezem will do that also, and then Dr. Ngozi, and then we'll just round off the program. So please, Citizen AY.
Okay, thank you very much for today. It's been a pleasure talking to as many people. I hope we've managed to answer some questions. Next week to be a continuous program, and I'll be happy to join again. What I'd like people to do, subscribe also to Citizen AY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform to reach more people. But the message is, in terms of that constitution, that is a very, very important message. Breakdown of how exactly how that constitution is exact collectively, and why we must do everything and more in our power, because it is a slave camp. That constitution is designed to keep us entrapped in our own land whilst we are being killed. So I need us all to join in this point. I call on the federal government to comply with their own judicial that says they should release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. They need to comply with evidence that we are not we're not a democracy. So again, just to make, before I go, 774 local governments have. Think about that. That is the real problem that nobody wants to discuss. And we need the best way to free ourselves. With autonomy, we can decide what happens in our community. We have government. And that is the biggest problem we face with this constitution. And that is why we have to go for a referendum. And please, again, don't forget to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Yes, please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. You can reach him with his messages. Very fantastic, very wonderful. I mean, you should just not the messages here. You know, we didn't have enough time, but when you go to his platform on YouTube, Citizen AY, you are going to get more messages that will open your mind to the shackles of Nigeria, you know, and the things that have kept us down for all this while. So just go there, go on YouTube, Citizen AY. The name is already on.
Hello, Prince. Can you hear?
Citizen AY. So go on YouTube, type like the videos as you watch them, and subscribe and share to other people to get the message. Because we're in alliance and we must spread this gospel. Thank you so much, Prince Ezem. Please, you can go.
I'm not sure if you can hear me because I don't. I'm moving about. Okay. Well, first of all, I would hope that today we've been able to understand that we must define ourselves. We have a duty to do so. We are dealing with British Enterprise Limited that has expired. We can no longer tolerate this heinous evil on humanity. It's intolerable. They themselves would not wish this type of thing on them. They wouldn't allow it. And the first principle in human endeavor is do unto others as you would like to be done unto you. They know they would hate Nigeria to happen to them, yet they are imposing Nigeria on other people. So I want to thank my darling sister, Ngozi. I want to thank my dear brother and friend, Citizen AY. You know I love you. I want to thank my dear brother too, Kelechi. And I want to thank my Oduduwa brothers and sisters, wherever you are. I want to thank my fellow Biafrans. And I want to urge you to stick out. We're going through the labor period. We're going through the labor period. if worse comes to us, we are going to deal with the banks in our territory. We must deal with all of them. We must tell them that they are holding our money and they have no right to keep this money at the behest of Britain and Fulani. They can't use our own money as a weapon unto us. We're going to show them that, look, we have to do something. We're not going to let them. No way. So just all be prepared. Whatever you have, keep it. Whatever you have, keep it. Whatever you have will become that weapon that David used to bring down Goliath. Because you're standing on solid ground, because you're working with Chukwokike, the creator, the one that has placed you here for you to define yourself, describe yourself, and give yourself your own identity. No other person is given the right to name your child. Even dogs will not take names from foreigners, from strangers. Dogs are named by their owners, and dogs only answer to their owners. Why are you not giving yourself your own name? Why are you allowing a foreigner to define you? Are you really human? That's the question I leave you with. Because dogs will not tolerate foreigners, will not tolerate strangers to give them a name. So you're telling me that you're worse than a dog. That's what you're telling me otherwise. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Prince. You're worse than a dog when you allow other people name you. And of course, if you are one of those who have been baptized, given the baptismal name, just know you are a slave, happy slave, a slave that is rejoicing. Dr. Ngozi, please. No, we have to just, some things we have to say them the way they are these days, because we have been
smiling and a happy slave, psychotic smile. Psychotic smile.
I have many of my family members, they will tell us, I said, what's your name? She say, I'll see Amaka will tell me her name is Jane Francis. I said, what is Jane Francis? It's my baptismal name. You are a slave, for God's sake.
That's my happy slave. Kelechi. Thank you so much for that one. Oh, yeah. Kelechi, you are great. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing you're doing and bringing your own aspect, what you can do to make sure that humanity is better. And Citizen AY, very good point right there. And Prince, I mean, what can I say? I mean, you nailed everything. It is our responsibility, all of us on this platform. And it is our responsibility to do whatever we have to do to make sure Nigeria breaks in the next 2 weeks. We have to. If you have to call your people at home, call them. If you have a group, talk to them. If you have anything you can do, you have to do that, because the people that we previously have voted into power to protect us have turned to those making policies that are killing us, killing our parents, raping our mothers and fathers, killing our children, depopulating us and conquering, taking over our lands. These same people that is talking about election on the 25th are the ones that have promulgated these policies that have led to the rehabilitation and reintegration of terrorists into Nigerian society. How can you go and validate such people through another election? That is not right. Even the other, Bill Clinton said, everybody wants to be free. You cannot continue to hold people against their will. Britain cannot continue to hold majority of Nigerians against their will. Fulani cannot continue to hold majority of Nigerians against their will. It is, we are in our indigenous communities, in our indigenous states, and they are invading us. They are coming to invade us through the policies made by those people we voted into power. That is why our target should be the leaders. Those people that are making these policies in Asha Rock, in Abuja, They are our biggest enemy. Because without them, if they are there for the people, there's no way they could allow policies such as the reintegration and rehabilitation of terrorists into the Nigerian community. There's no way that policy would have passed the legislature and the Senate. But it passed because of what? Fulani has over the years perpetuated and put the right number of people they need, both in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, to make sure that their agenda gets majority of the votes. So this time we are going to tell them that that cannot continue anymore. It is our duty, each and every one of us, to do this. Nobody can do that for us. United Nations cannot do that. United Nations ordered Nigeria, this same Fulani government, to release Nnamdi Kanu 6 months ago. That expiration has, that order has expired. Did you all see United Nations do anything? No. Have they said anything? No. Have they asked the Fulani, did they ask Buhari, why are you still holding in Nnamdi Kanu? No. Why? Because Fulani over the years have put their people in strategic positions all over the world, including at the United Nations. So if you go to the UN today, you will see a Fulani daughter occupying a strong position there that will make the discussion of even anything now they will put it in the trash. That is why Nigerians must rise up and let Fulani and Britain know that that trick they've been playing for the past 100 years, we know what they're doing, and it must stop in the next 2 weeks. That is the language that we all have to pass to our people. There is no East wars about it. There'll be no election in Biafra land. There'll be no election in Oduduwa land. There'll be no election in Middle Belt. There'll be no election in South Nigeria. And there'll be no election in the Arewa community. Let Katrina Lounge know this at the back of their mind. And anybody that tries to push, to force people to have election, because that's what they're doing now, sending their bullion military vans all over Southeast, Southwest to force people to vote. Those people are going to get the wrath of the citizens, because we have been killed enough. We have been condemned enough. We have been tricked enough. We have been butchered enough. I'm not going to go into the religious aspect of the Christian and the Muslim, but those that are supporting this criminality, they will pay the price for that. So I encourage all Biafrans to listen to Chief Sunday Igboho and the Oduduwas. Listen to Chief Sunday Igboho. Listen to Mazi Ekpa. These are the only two people now standing for the masses of Oduduwa and the Biafra. Any other person, any other thing in any form or shape is part of the Fulani criminality. And we will tell them that this time around, their game is over, because we know the game they are playing.
Correct.
Thank you so
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate everyone. Please, you're watching out there, please take this video, share it on all your social media platforms. People, this must go viral. People must hear this message. I tell you, so many things have been said here by our guests. Oh my God, it was just a fantastic time. And this is not a joke. This is the time to take action. The next 2 weeks is going to be very pivotal, and we are taking back our nations. And the only way we can do it is to spread this gospel to the people in the rural areas, wherever all over the world, where we have the Oduduwa people, we have the Biafra people, and other lovers of freedom. Share this broadcast to them. Like the video. The more you like it, they see it, they want to like, they want to watch what you like, because the like also attracts people. They want to know what are you liking in this thing. So like it, send it on all your social media platforms, including WhatsApp. Let people get this message and hear from the professionals who have spoken today, the intellectuals who have spoken today, because they have spoken extensively on this matter, and we must get our freedom. I want to appreciate my guests for really making it. I mean, it was just a powerful one. I wish I could continue this program, but I know we have the time to come over and over to do this again and again, to open the minds of our people that have been stuck with nonsense. The minds of our people, I don't know what else is there, is crude oil. Also, they have blockade their brains. You know, something the brain has been taken away, and now they have Fulani manuscripts in it. It's so bad. So we want to erase that manuscript and put the original back into the heads of the people and back to let them go back to fitted factory setting. We must go back to factory settings so that we can now refresh the people and get them back to form. Thank you so much, Citizen AY. It's been lovely. It's been good having you. I mean, oh my God, I don't know how to say thank you. But of course, you have dedicated yourself for the cause of humanity, not just the people of Oduduwa alone, but for both Biafrans and all of us of freedom and of everybody trapped in the contraption, called Nigeria. Please remember, go to Citizen AY on YouTube. You're going to get all these messages. Thank you so much, Citizen AY. And I know that whenever we call you up here, you're going to be here, and you would always want to be here to talk to the people. Thank you so much for your contributions and everything you've told the people and the messages you have sent. Strong messages from the spirit. I felt it when you were talking. It was coming from the ancestral, the bosom. It was coming from the depth. I knew this is not just you talking. Something was coming from somewhere. It was obvious. And all of that. Thank you so much, Dr. Ngozi. In fact, as we were just talking, I let me not say something, anyways. But Dr. Ngozi is so great, so fantastic, so wonderful. I mean, it's just this today was different, because you came with the force here is evident, and you were speaking like a warrior, and of course, truly, you have spoken to Biafrans and Oduduwa people, and I know that they have gotten the concept and they've gotten the message today, and thank God you could remind them 2 weeks from now, and of course, there will be no election because there's going to be massive confusion, and people will get the message and strongly. Thank you so much, Prince Ezim. What can I say? You just fantastic, I mean, with a passion and everything, always been present, even at every time you are just doing it as it is and as God gives you the ability to do it. And I want to appreciate everyone who is watching from wherever you're watching. Please like this video, send it on all your social media platforms. We come your way again next week, Friday. We're going to have the Alliance in Focus program. And this time around, we're going to be going to another dimension. Maybe by that time, some things would have happened again that would have proven to those people who are Nigerians that this is not working. It's not going to work. Nigeria cannot work. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not going to work. So thank you so much. We love you all. And I want to say thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I want to appreciate my guests and every one of you who is watching now. God bless you all. Stay cool. Stay calm. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. God bless you. Very good.